Fox is America's election headquarters. You've seen your last Republican debate for 2015, the next one 3 weeks away. Jeb Bush and Chris Christie are embracing what some are calling a new strategy. According to the New York Times, the two are playing the guilt card in the first primary state of New Hampshire, praising the Granite State voters there as sober-minded people who understand the importance of policy and saying the entire country relies on them to choose wisely. Let's talk about that strategy with Guy Benson, political editor at townhall.com, also a Fox News contributor. So if you go to New Hampshire voters and say, you know, you guys are really important and you really need to make the right choice here, is it going to work? Is it going to help?
Well, I don't necessarily say it's guilt, right? First of all, there is no more promiscuous purveyor of guilt and sort of victimhood in this campaign than Hillary Clinton, who's constantly playing the woman card and seeing misogyny around every corner to sort of discredit some of her critics. When it comes to the Republicans, though, I think what Christie and Bush are doing, I'm not sure it'll work, but what they're trying to do is appeal to New Hampshire voters and say, look, you guys have a traditional role in this process, and that is to be serious people who care about policy depth, who care about retail campaigning, and that is, the subtext there is you've got to reject this sort of flood-the-zone, celebritized Trumpism. We shall see if that pays dividends for Messieurs Bush and Christie.
Well, why is Donald Trump doing well in New Hampshire?
Because he's doing well everywhere else, too. I mean, he is someone who sucks up so much attention, so much energy, and he's speaking to a certain visceral sense that a lot of Republicans and center-right voters and a lot of independents, frankly, share at the moment, a disdain, a contempt for the political class. He's tapping into it. It's not something that I particularly care for much of the time, but it's not difficult to draw a line between what he's doing and how he's doing in the polls.
It is not looking like he's going to win Iowa. Ted Cruz is solidly in front there. If Donald Trump were to come out of the first two voting states, Iowa and New Hampshire, without a victory, what does that do to his campaign?
Look, if it's 0 for 2, that's an issue. And that's what you've got a lot of Republican voters who are not Donald Trump fans saying, how do you stop him? How could he be stopped? If Ted Cruz wins in Iowa, not a sure bet, but Cruz is doing what he needs to do to win there. And then if New Hampshire goes to someone like Christie or Marco Rubio, then sort of the aura of winning and dominance and power and success that emanates from Donald Trump, that starts to get eroded, and voters say, all right, maybe this whole thing was a bit of a mirage. Let's get serious, moving on to South Carolina, Nevada, and beyond.
Here's a quote from Jeb Bush to New Hampshire voters. You're the answer. The question is, will New Hampshire want to support a guy who might tarnish this extraordinary reputation that you have, which is first in the nation status, where you make people walk through hot coals each and every time they come, where you challenge people. Pretty effective.
Yeah, I mean, good luck with that. If I'm Jeb Bush, I'm looking at the polls and saying, my goodness, I'm in 5th or 6th place nationally now. Maybe he should make a case for himself rather than playing into this whole thing of saying, well, you guys better not do this with Trump because you wouldn't want to embarrass yourselves. Again, I'm skeptical that that will work.
Let's talk about somebody who was in second place, solidly in second place, first in some polls, who is now down there with the Jeb Bushes, talking about Dr. Ben Carson. He has said that his campaign is going to undergo a big shakeup, that everybody's job is sort of on the line. Then he comes back and says, well, no, I trust my team and we're just going to tweak some things. What is it?
I don't know. And I think what we're seeing is an inexperienced candidate melting a little bit under the white-hot spotlight of a presidential campaign. So massive shakeup, not a big shakeup. There's chaos in the Carson campaign right now, and I can understand why he's frustrated. You look at Iowa. That is a state that he must win. At the end of October, the very beginning of last month in November, he was at 32% and leading in that state. He has now dipped in the Real Clear Politics average into single-digit support there. It's not working, and my suspicion is it's not because of his team. It's not because of some sort of they're spending too much money, which they are. I think what's happened is a lot of voters on the Republican side woke up in a post-Paris, post-San Bernardino world and said, this is a guy that we like, who we respect, with an incredible life story. We're not totally confident he's prepared to be commander-in-chief. I think that's what's happened to Ben Carson.
Yeah, obviously foreign policy is coming to dominate a lot of people's minds.
Yep.
in this election. Guy Benson, townhall.com. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, John.
Merry Christmas to you.